Hi, thank you first for
Thanks for coming on.
the opportunity. I was very happy that you reached out to me. So my name is Ruby Schrader. I am originally from the Philippines. I'm 36 years old. I was born and raised there. And then 2005 was when I graduated college, studied hotel industry. And then I got the chance to move to Dubai. So at first I only wanted to stay there for a year. But then, life got busier, and then I enjoyed working in the industry. The career has grown so much, and then I ended up staying for 13 years.
At Dubai?
At Dubai,
wow,
yeah.
That's great.
That was an amazing experience. Like, it has taught me so much. It's hard, being away from the family, like at an early age, but I knew I needed to do it because I wanted to help my parents and my family, like, financially. And so I had to, there's an opportunity, why not grab it, So I left and I stayed for 13 years. Yeah, I've worked for luxury hotels there, and really, really such an amazing experience. And then how I got here is I actually met my now husband online. He was overseas and I was in Dubai, and then we did long distance relationship for 2.5 years. And then the time came, we're like, okay, what's next? So we decided to settle down, and he's from here in Ohio. And people was like, what are you doing in Ohio? Like, from Dubai to Ohio is like totally different. I was like, yeah, I know what you mean, but yeah, that's why I ended up here. So people ask me, why travel? So with my background, being away from the family for way too long, and then you have to have a contract. For example, you work for 2 years as your initial contract. After you completed a certain amount of time, then you get some sort of vacation days. So every year you get 21 days plus all the holidays. So it's massive leave days
it's
for
a lot.
me.
Yeah,
it's
you
a
can
lot.
do a lot with that.
Exactly. So for me, I was like, okay, I know I will work hard. I know I'll finish my contract, and then I can travel again and go back home and see my family.
Are they in Dubai or the Philippines?
No, they were in the Philippines,
Okay.
all of them.
Okay.
I was the only person out of the country back then.
Okay.
And I have 3 siblings and then my parents. So yeah, for me it was the motivation. Like, I know I have to work hard. I know I have to finish the contract, get those days, and travel back home. So that has been a routine for me for 13 years. And then in between, you change career. I ended up working in sales, and now you started to get clients, and you can't literally take 30 days in one stretch, because then your clients will forget you.
Yeah, you need to keep in touch. Communication's
exactly.
key.
You need to be there for them. And so that's where it started. Okay, half of the week I'll go home. I have the 2 weeks that I get, I'll be home, and then the rest of the vacation days I have, I'll travel elsewhere. So that's when I started to get into the, let's say, travel addiction, the travel bug that there's.
Yeah, there's a bug.
It hits you.
Yeah.
It's never gonna go. So.
Yeah, that's true. I've seen it.
That's true, right?
I've been a part of it. Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah.
So yeah, and then it just went on and on and on. And next thing you know, I'm like, whoa, 29 countries together.
Yeah.
And then
That's a lot.
It is a lot. I would still want to continue.
I'm
not gonna stop there.
100%.
I have so many bucket lists that I wanted to check. But and then with my relationship now, without travel, I don't think Joseph, my husband, and I would actually survive the long distance relationship, because it's hard, we barely, with the time difference, then there is only 30 minutes time difference, let's say. So we always communicate, but it's still different when you see the person in person, right?
Oh yeah, it's real time.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So in that 2.5 years of being in a long distance relationship, we actually traveled to 5 different countries together. And the very first trip we had was a 2-week trip to South Africa. We've never seen each other. So all my friends were like, are you sure you're going to do this? You don't really know this person. I'm like, hey, I trust my instinct. I've prayed for this. I've asked for signs, and now it's happening. So I'm just going to go for it. Let's see what happens. I'm an adult. I can take care of myself. If things doesn't go right, well, fortunately, it went right.
Yeah. There's always plan B somehow.
So now we're married, but yeah.
There you go.
Travel is...
Trust your gut.
Exactly. Trust your instinct. For women, it works big time. So you can never get wrong with that. But yeah, so travel for me, it's not just travel. For other people, it's pure luxury. How is she doing that? For me, it has a deeper meaning. And so when I left the corporate world and I came here to the US, I told myself like the next thing that I would want to do is to either have my own business, or just anything related to travel, like maybe work for somebody, but it will allow me to travel and see more different places. But then this opportunity came, and I can start my own business from home, and that started October last year.
Okay.
So I'm very new to the entrepreneur world. I love it because I'm learning so much. Like, I am the type of person who would just try to absorb everything that I can. Sometimes it could get very overwhelming.
Yeah,
because
it's quick. When you're out there, you gotta get money. I mean, it's rapid.
It's true. So you have to learn more about marketing side of the business. Now we have the social media platform, and then you have to get special find your niche, and then get like a specialty courses, be it destinations or cruises or group bookings. It's a whole new world, and I was just like, wow, this is so exciting.
Yeah, cool.
I have so many things to learn, and that's pretty much how I started a business. So,
well, man, this past couple months have been real rough though, right?
it is rough.
Yeah.
It is rough. Yeah.
How have you been kind of navigating through this crisis?
It's very challenging, but I try to be positive. So I use most of my time really educating myself and learning everything that I can from, the industry, because I know once this is over, people will want to travel. Like, people are so ready to travel now, I think. Last week I had 4 people who reached out to me asking for travel quotes for future months.
Okay.
Yesterday I had 3. So I can already see like, okay, people are, they're just anxious I want to go out. I have been home for too long. And now it's time to go somewhere, But since I just started a business, I'm still trying to grow like my network list, email marketing side of the business. So really like doing a lot of networking and connecting with people, telling them exactly what a travel agent does, There's so many insights that actually people doesn't know why we exist. And now with this pandemic, unfortunately, now they kind of realize, I don't want to be on hold for like 8 hours trying to cancel or rebook my trip.
Wow, I know a lot of people where they had to do that.
They have, they have done that, and oh my gosh! And for us, this is what we do. Like literally, we offer our time to someone to help them plan and book their trip. And you spend a lot of time literally planning, because if you're coming to me and say, "Hey, I want to go here," I'm not just going to give you like random hotel and say, okay, no, I mean, we do all the research. Like we kind of read all the reviews. What's the experience of other business partners sending clients to that particular hotel? It's not like, okay, I pick 1, 2, 3 resort and then send it to you. No, there's so much work that goes behind you receiving your first travel quotation. And most of the majority of the travel agents, it's actually free. Like, we don't charge any service fee. And some people, they don't know that. They think that if I use you as a travel agent, I would have to pay you huge amount of
something up front,
service fee. But actually, I personally don't charge any fees yet. Maybe later on when it's like a complicated kind of group booking, and it requires a lot of work, and maybe they really couldn't decide, and it's taking so much of my time rather than just, a simple quote. Then maybe I will try to consider having a service fee. But so far, everything that I do for my clients are free. Okay. So that's like something that most of the people, they actually don't know that, wow, you do all of this for free? And I was like, yeah.
Do you get then paid through the places that you book for?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
So, for example, you want to book a hotel, right? In most cases, actually, the commission is already like built in whatever you're booking directly. And what you're doing is you're just giving the commission back to the hotel. Now, if you use a travel agent or a small business owner like me, what you're doing is you're basically helping me get the commission and earn a living.
Oh, interesting.
So it's up
That's
to you.
That's really good to know. I did not know that.
Yeah, it's just entirely to a traveler to decide, do I want to give the commission back to a big corporation or back to the company, or do I want to help a small business owner make a living? And basically, it saves you time. And
it's an expensive process.
And your time is your biggest asset, right? You don't want to go bouncing from one search engine trying to figure out, okay, this is this rate, write the rate down, and this one is this one, and then you just keep comparing, and then in the end you end up not booking anything because you're just like too overwhelmed.
It's overwhelming. Yeah, it is.
You're confused.
Yeah.
And it's not like the travel agents knew everything from A to Z. I mean, there's a lot of information out there, but what we have is like we have the resources to actually, we know where to go to if we need information for our customers, for our clients. Because we have direct relationship with the suppliers, we have direct relationship with the hotel, we know who is the business development for that particular area, or in Ohio or in Midwest. We do have a specific person who handles the agents in a particular state. So if there's an issue or something that we really need to know, we know where to go to right away. And like with an average traveler, I would say they solely rely on the internet.
Yeah.
And the lifespan of the, what do you call this? Like the shelf life of all the information regarding travel that you find online is very short. It keeps changing. So if you miss that part, you might be actually, missing on something very, very important about your trip. So there's just some few advantages of using a travel agent. Now, I'm not saying everything goes well. When you're out of the trip, you're out of, when you're on your own.
Yeah.
And I can't really control anything that happens, while you're on the trip. But what we can assure and guarantee is like we can take care of you before the trip, while you're on the trip, if it's something that we can still do, and then after the trip. So it's an entire full process.
Is it just you or?
My business is just myself.
Okay.
Yeah. I do everything from home, so I have my mini office back in the dining area. I set it up nicely with a color blue wall, so I see the ocean all the time.
Yeah.
I love the beach so much. I'm like a fish. My husband calls me fish because I breathe for the ocean and the beach. So yeah, I have my small, but yeah, it's just me. It's just me, myself, and I who runs my own business. I'm my own boss, which is pretty cool.
What was kind of the inspiration just to become an entrepreneur, to become your own boss?
It's my time. I don't want to ask anybody for my time anymore. That was about my main thing. Like, I know it kind of sounds weird maybe, but it's like if I want to go on a trip, I want to go on a trip. Like, I don't want to ask somebody, hey, I can go to work right now. I have a special occasion that I need to attend. I need to travel. I didn't feel comfortable with that anymore. And so it
is. I mean, for time off is big time.
Especially knowing here in the U.S. when I got here, like I understand that you really have to work for a company for many years before you could actually accumulate, 5 days of leave for a year or something like that. And my mind did not take that in a nice way.
I totally agree.
I mean, coming in from Dubai, I know we're expats, we're expatriates. We don't belong there. We just live there for work. But we get 30 days at least, including all the holidays per year. That's a lot. And I was like, I cannot not give up not traveling. I have to be elsewhere at least 2 to 3 times in a year. And yeah, I think for me, my main decision factor was just my time. I want to have that freedom where I can decide what I want to do with my time. Because you don't really know how much time you have. That's big. I mean, I want to be responsible. I want to be happy on how I utilize my time. And that was just huge for me. So I said, okay, I will start my own business. I will learn everything I can. And here we are.
There you go.
Here we are. You found me on LinkedIn.
Yeah. What was kind of the starting off process? Was it pretty difficult? What were you kind of learning?
Oh, I was learning about insurance, travel insurance.
Oh, that's awful.
Which I myself was like, no, I don't want to learn insurance, but you have to.
You have to, yeah.
You have to learn about
you gotta know
insurance.
every part of the industry, yeah.
You have to learn about bookings with the hotels. You have to learn about the destination, cruise lines. So it really helps to determine, like, where do you want to focus your time with. Like, for me, my main focus is doing group bookings. So I do more of like incentive trips for companies, like if they wanted to take their entire team to go to Jamaica or to anywhere in the Caribbean, that's my main focus. It's just because I came from the hotel industry background, right? And I used to do group sales back then. So I know how the hotel's policies are. Somehow it's still a little bit different from Dubai to here in the US, but still it works the same way. You have the rooming list and all the other things that you need to consider. So I decided to work on that, but I also do like couples trip and families. Those are my main three focuses. But since it's a full service agency, it doesn't restrict me to book your flight if you want to just go to Las Vegas, for example, or you just want a hotel 2-3 nights stay. I still do it for my customers, but I have those three things that I wanted to focus into. And because of that, I know which courses I need to take. You know, I mean, every day there's like invitations from suppliers like, hey, we have a webinar at this time. We talk about groups, and then it's pretty cool because you're like sitting at home, but your imagination is running wild because now you're seeing this beautiful destinations and resorts, and you're like traveling virtually along with them. So yeah, but so many courses to take.
There are.
It's amazing.
Where do you see where were you booking a lot of people to? Domestically within the United States or internationally?
I would say at the moment both. Starting up the business, I still don't have majority of the clients, so I really need people to know that I exist as a travel agent basically here in Columbus area. But yeah, I've done domestically and internationally so far. So
okay. What's your favorite spot internationally to go?
That's a tough question because I love
They're
all
probably
the places.
yeah, I agree.
I love all the places I have been. I love the Maldives.
Okay.
Because I just love the ocean and I love the beach. That's my thing. But yeah, that was truly a paradise for me.
Really?
Yeah. South Africa was also a nice place to visit. Cape Town, it's beautiful. I highly recommend. And there are other places. Oh my gosh, I'm like, I have been to Cyprus, Goa, India, the Maldives.
I want to go to India so bad.
You do?
Yeah. I've been to
Taj
Southeast
Mahal.
Asia, but India is something I always wanted to go to.
Yeah, we only went to Goa, not the India proper, but that was a very good experience too. Their food is delicious.
I can only
The Indian
imagine.
curries. We're a foodie too, so we're
Yeah.
like we love experimenting with dishes like all over the country and just seeing the culture. It's pretty amazing actually. I have never met someone who doesn't like travel actually. I mean, who doesn't like travel? Do you know anyone?
People do a lot. I think what I see a lot of people is they have families and they have to kind of like stick to certain like they go to Florida.
Oh, okay.
So if they have families, it's difficult to travel outside of their comfortability. So I don't know. My mom would never travel. That's for sure. Outside
really?
the country.
Outside the country.
Yeah, but she's older too. But yeah, I don't know anybody. I mean, I had a buddy in college. He studied abroad in Ireland, and then he came back and like really inspired all his friends to go internationally. That's how we did the trip. And now all of them want to travel, and I'm trying to get my friends to travel. And it's that bug. Like, I haven't been overseas in 2 years, and I want to go back to it. Yeah,
me too.
But it's 2 years into my career, and I'm trying to start something from nothing. So I went to like San Francisco and Florida, but just
I love
domestically.
San Francisco.
Yeah, it's great.
Our favorite there was the sweet and sour chicken from one of this tiny Chinese-owned restaurant. It was delicious.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh! Like seriously, it's my husband's favorite. It's like, where can we find this kind of sweet and sour chicken here in Columbus? I don't know where, but we're still on. We're still on.
Yeah.
We're still looking for that place, but
Yeah.
San Francisco is beautiful.
Yeah. What has been your best way to get clients? Is it just marketing, just reaching out? What's kind of your process?
Social media.
Yeah.
They find me on social media. So when I do my posts, like you have to have yourself like a brand, right? So I had to figure that out, and there are like, okay, so there's travel. So all my posts, of course, are related to my previous travel. And then now I'm learning more about the industry. So if there is any promotion from a supplier that I think is very interesting, then that's part of my post. And then of course I'm a wife and I have a dog. I have a 1-year-old puppy. So I always post that, and I think those people who loves the same thing will eventually follow you, and they'll find out like, oh, you know, she has a cute puppy, and then they'll scroll on my Facebook feed, and then they'll realize, oh, she's a travel agent, and then they'll send me a message, which is pretty cool. And I do TikTok from time to time.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I gotta see that. I need to see that.
You have to follow me on Facebook.
I will.
But
is your primary Facebook? Is that what? Yeah.
Yeah. I have Instagram too, but I try to incorporate pretty much all the social media platforms. So when I do TikTok, it's more of like, you know, with the background music, and then more inspirational and motivational kind of post, which is pretty cool. I'm enjoying TikTok a lot. And then there's food. So that's where my post revolves most of the time. And then you'll eventually attract people of the same, you know, mindset, and if they like the same thing, and then they're like, hey, you're a travel agent, I'm curious, can you send me a code for this? And then they'll tell friends of friends, and then that's just how basically it works. That's how it started for me.
Beautiful.
Sometimes I reach out to people too. If I see that they need help, just give them unsolicited advice from a travel agent, and then they're like, okay, maybe you can help me. So that's how I'm building. And then I do a lot of networking events here in Columbus. Part of quite a few groups now. So now we can't meet anybody, but we do virtual Zoom, virtual meetup. So that's cool. I just tell them I'm a travel agent, and then that's it. That's how it starts.
Oh, what do you use for that? Well, you said Zoom, but how do you get into these groups?
Facebook.
Facebook? Okay.
And friends, yeah. I have a very good network. Like he started this networking group here in Columbus, and he has grown his group so much, and pretty much everyone I think is in that platform. It's in that group in particular.
I feel like I know what you're talking about. Let's see. I feel like I'm in it. Yeah, what's that called? Block or something? Not Block.
Well, there's Blocko.
Yeah, there's that one.
And then there's Connected Now.
That's the one.
That's the one, yeah.
Yeah, I've been to one of those. I need to do more of those. I feel like I just don't, but.
Yeah, you have to. You'll meet very interesting people.
Yeah.
And Chris, hey Chris, shout out. He's a very good friend of ours.
Awesome.
He started that, and he's growing that beautifully. He's really into building community, which is really cool. So yeah, sometimes I do volunteer work for them. And then that's how I also meet a lot of people. And
great. But
a lot of social media. I spend so much time on social media.
You have to. I haven't. Just cold outreach is tough, but I guess I did that with you. But we're promoting through social media, so it's kind of that. It's been working for me doing podcasts, even. But it's just a great way to meet people too.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
I remember when I think it's a marketing video that I've seen many years ago, and this lady, she said, like, if you have a business or a service that you think that people would actually benefit from it, it is your responsibility to make sure that you put your product or your service out there. Like, there is no way to hide it or keep it. Otherwise, why do you even start a business?
Yeah.
Right? And the more you do it, the more people will just see, like, actually she's very passionate about what she does. I'm curious why she has this kind of energy with her. And then next thing you know, they're all following you, which is perfect.
You just gotta find that small group of people that like what you're saying, and
exactly.
Eventually they will use your service when not everybody can travel frequently, but they will eventually. You know?
That's true. No, quality I think is still better than quantity, even in social media. I can have 5,000 friends, but we never talk. So what is the point for that? You know?
Exactly.
I have to go through a Facebook cleanup as well. They always talk about that when you have a social media, because there's no way you can just establish a very good connection if you just keep adding friends for nothing, right?
Yeah.
You really have to make that connection. So
and keep it.
Important.
That's
and keep
key.
It. Exactly.
Where do you kind of see your business growing from where you're at now? Do you kind of like keeping it just yourself, or are you trying to kind of
expand it? Well, it will be nice if I can expand it as well. But for now, I think I'm happy keeping it myself. I know exactly what I need to do and all of that. I really want to grow my travel business and literally like reach out to people, as much as I could, But yeah, who knows? Maybe it's going to be a huge company one day. But
if you keep it at it,
But yeah, it's funny because people are like, they check your profile, and then they're like, they message me and they're like, hey, I saw your post. What, like, you're a Zumba dancer too? I'm like, no, I just do it on the side. You play piano too? I'm like, no, I'm teaching myself. It's like, yeah, you go through my Facebook, you'll have fun. Because that's what everybody tells me. You seem like such a fun lady. Let's connect. I was like, oh, cool. All right. I mean, if you do things out of your passion,
you find other people that like it, and then
it's easier. You know, you stay the real you stay very authentic, and then people just like, oh, she's real. You know, she's not hiding anything. I'm sure she doesn't want. She just doesn't want anything from me. She's real. She really wants to make friends. She wants to help people and all of that thing. So I think that's very, very important to know the real you, especially when starting a business, because it could get very, very complex. You know how it is, right? Mm-hmm. So many things that you need to do. So I think if you figure out who you are, you're already on the right track. I had to do a lot of self-development. I read books, I attended courses, and what a transformation, I would say. So if people
That's awesome to hear.
If people are looking into doing self-development and stuff like that, they should probably try and invest, because if they find something who's a very good coach, well, yeah.
The last guy I was just talking to, we were talking about to start a business, you really have to have a passion, because with a business, you're basically bashing your head through a wall to trying to figure out how to make it work. And you gotta love that wall to be able to do that. Mm-hmm. And eventually you break through and it becomes something. But a lot of people, like you said, need to find themselves to find that passion, because, it's just sticking in one job is it's difficult to do, especially if you don't like it. It's draining. And then you found out a way to incorporate it to where you can follow just a massive, not expense, but traveling is very strenuous, I'd say. So you figured out a way to connect it to, and that's just great.
Yeah, that's true.
My buddy did the same thing. I just said that he studied abroad. He studied in Cambodia, so he could be out there, and then he traveled multiple countries when he was over there, when he had holidays and breaks. And unfortunately, he had to come back because of COVID, but he figured it out. He found out what he liked, and he did it. That's so key. Yeah.
That is the key. Just take that first step and, follow your goals and your dreams, and never give up. There is no quitting. I told myself there is no quitting. I started this, and there is no running away from it. This is what I want to do. I know it's never going to be easy. Like your effort, the amount of effort that you put will eventually leads you to your success. So if you're wanting to be a business owner and you think of this as a hobby, like what everybody else, then it's just going to be a hobby. But if you're serious to working full time and really respecting that it is a business, then eventually your efforts will pay off.
Exactly.
That I truly believe. So, but it's never easy. Not at all.
Never.
There are times I'm like, oh my gosh, did I make the right decision? Maybe I should just go back to working again and be an employee. And I'm like, nope, never gonna happen.
I feel like once you get if you have a taste of not working for somebody else, you want to stick with it as long as you can.
But never is a long time, right? Who knows? Maybe I would find another job, but right now my heart and my passion is into what I'm doing, so we're sticking with it.
Have you been able to travel since you started it?
Yeah, I was in Vegas last February. That was for a convention, so we're 1,000 travel agents all over the state.
Okay.
So we had courses there. We met up with the suppliers, so that was pretty fun, because then you meet the rest of your business partners.
Yeah.
Which is really cool. We were supposed to go on a cruise, but then that got canceled.
I need to go on. Have you ever been on a cruise?
Yeah.
What? I've never been on one.
We did Disney Magic the first time. That was an amazing experience.
Really? What's it like? What's the Disney component of it?
You think Disney is only for kids, right?
Yeah.
We were surprised because there were elderly people, there were couple, there were families, there were solo traveler, and it was just amazing to see the smile on their faces. Like every time Mickey passes by, I'm like, hey, I want a picture with Mickey. I had so many pictures with the Disney characters. Yeah. It's insane. I felt like I was a kid for 5 days.
That's great. Getting pictures with Mickey would be something different.
It was a really, really cool experience. Actually, that was our very first cruise trip too. So I took the Disney course, and I'm like, okay, it's good to experience that because I would want to sell Disney too. So we went and
You had to take that course to be able to sell
yeah.
that kind of product.
Yes.
Okay.
Like a kind of product or service. It's just good for you to to educate yourself as well, because then if you have someone asking you about Disney, then you know how to do the bookings and what's included and what not, and how's the experience going to be like. So that's one thing of being of a travel agent. It's like you're able to travel and experience what you're learning, so then you can give better value, I would say, to your customers or your clients. So yeah, we did that. Oh my gosh, what an experience! Yeah, beautiful. Like from the Broadway shows.
They had Broadway shows on the cruise?
Yeah.
What?
They have a theater show in the cruise. Damn. They have basketball court. It's massive. Like it's a city on its own. That's what they say with the cruise ship. But yeah, the food. Oh my gosh, delicious. Like now I'm hungry. Every night was like a fine dining theme night. So that was pretty cool. I highly recommend.
I will.
You should try cruising one day.
I will someday.
And it's not like you're stuck in a cruise, like in a cruise ship. Like you have port days, so it depends like how many days you need to go. You have 2 weeks cruise. You have even a world voyage if you want to. If you can take 365 days off, there are cruise ships who are doing that kind of itinerary, which I think is pretty cool. Maybe I would do that one day. But yeah, you have port days, so you stay in the ship maybe for one day. The next day you're on the port on an island somewhere in Grand Cayman, for example, where we went, and then you go back to the ship, and then you have another island to go to. So it's not like you're just talking there. No, that's not how it works. But for me, I like it. I enjoyed it. But it's not for everybody. The people that are like, I'm never cruising. Like, it's okay. You can go by land, you can go by air.
You can do like 2 week ones, right? Isn't that like standard? Yeah.
2 weeks. At least 7 days would be ideal. 5 to 7 days is like the ideal time frame when you go for a cruise. 3 is too short. I feel like why do you go for 3? Yeah. But yeah.
What's the process? So let's say I reach out to you. I say I want to go somewhere. What's kind of the process on what's the process, I guess?
So normally what I do, if they reach out, for example, on Facebook, I will send them my customer information form, which is already pinned on top of my business page. So I know where to find it and where people could find it easily. And it's very detailed form. So you start with your name, all your personal information, and then like, where do you want to go? So we try to limit it with 3 destinations, because then it could go so wide. And then I'm like, okay, where do you want me to actually start researching, right? So if you want to go domestically, then just try to put different states in the US, maybe, if that's your option. Or if you want to go internationally, maybe 1 or 2 countries, like within the same continent. Like don't go to Asia and then suddenly Europe, right? Like it's just
keep it in the same capacity.
Like, do you really want to go to Asia right now, or do you want to go to Europe? You can decide. But yeah, you put the destinations, and then if you know like the type of budget you're willing to spend, that helps too. If you prefer to stay in like a budgeted hotel or a luxury hotel, that was on my customer form. Are your dates flexible? So basically this form that I created is already helping us to communicate what exactly do you want as a traveler. And then with that, then that's where I start, my research. Okay, so for example, you want to go to Vegas, you want a budgeted hotel, this is the amount. So when I go to my supplier, I know already whom to ask for. I don't go from a 5-star to one-star hotel. I know exactly where to go, because it is time consuming at the same time. But yeah, so after that I send the form to you. You send the form to me, and then I'll start doing the work, the researching, getting the quotes for you, and then probably send you I try to keep it to three quotes, like travel quotes, so different hotels, different levels, and then you will decide which one you'd like, because sometimes when you give too many options, they're like they couldn't decide either. So you have to really you yourself as an agent would narrow it down and offer different tier, for example. And then they'll decide. Once everything is confirmed, then I do the work and confirm everything with the supplier. And then at the same time, you have to offer like insurance and travel policy. You have to also educate them with that. What's involved? Why are you paying this amount? Do they need passport, transportation, activities? Do you need help with booking restaurants? Is there special occasions that we need to, that I need to know of, so I can tell the hotels, for example, and they can look after you when you reach the hotel, when you check in. Yeah, there's so much that, that goes to it. But yeah, as much as possible, when the very first contact, I would want them to give me this information so then I know exactly where to start.
Okay.
And that really helps a lot because the form itself is very detailed, like what I said.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is it all through Facebook, the form, or do you like...
I send it by email.
Okay.
I have a system that I used to, which I really like. Of course, you have to pay for that. So there are expenses involved, very minimal expenses just to keep your business running. I really like this particular system because it just keeps everything organized. It is very neat. So if I send you the quote, it tells me I'm waiting for the client to reply. So then if you don't, then I get a reminder and saying, no, the client hasn't responded yet. If it's my turn to reply, then I get notification like, hey, your client is waiting for you.
Yeah.
So I really like the system. Nice. So I can either, sometimes people are so used to Messenger, I think because it's just easy. But then if it gets really like very detailed and it needs to be on an email, then I send them back to my email, and because we need to record everything just to make sure, I'm not missing out on any information, and what you said is actually what you told me, because sometimes with cell phones or mobiles, you can get lost with all other people that you're talking to, and that's not one thing that you want to experience. So it helps a lot if you're a very organized person. So thank goodness that
organization's key.
It is, it is.
You're juggling a couple clients, and then some of them don't get back to you, and then it's like a week passes, and you gotta be on it.
You gotta be on
it. As we wrap this episode up, is there anything that you kind of want to just tell about your business, or just kind of words of wisdom to other entrepreneurs?
Words of wisdom to other entrepreneurs. I learned this from one of my coach when I did the self-development, Chrissy. He said, do it scared, but do it anyway. So if you're already thinking of doing it, think about it long and hard and just go for it. The first step is really what you need to decide if this is something you need to do. And along the process, you enjoy the process, you trust the process, you learn from it. And if it's really not working, hey, I give it a shot, In the
try
end,
again.
I'm winning.
And
then I try again,
and
you get stronger, and you learn, and you meet people along the way. And but can I promote my social media?
Yeah, how do people reach out to you? Exactly.
So how do you guys reach out to me? I have a Facebook business page, Instagram, and TikTok. All my handles are the same. It's shetravel. So that's SCHROE. DERS travel. Everything is the same, so you'll find me. If you'd like to add me up on my personal Facebook, I'm fine. Just let me know that you heard me on a podcast with Steven. I would gladly accept your invitation. We get very, very random people adding you up here and there, but it's Ruby Elizabeth. I think my profile is in public, so that's fine. But that's how you can connect with me. If you'd like to travel anytime soon now, I would say you don't need to travel now, but you can book your travel for the future because there are amazing deals out there.
There are. I keep getting them. There's like Japan for $500 out of Cleveland. I'm like, oh my God, I want to go.
Yeah, it is.
There's some crazy ones.
There are some crazy ones. Like Cancun, for example, I was reading some article yesterday. If you book for 2 nights, like this program will roll out on June 15. If you book 2 nights in Cancun, you get 2 nights free. If you're traveling with kids, your kids travel for free. If you do a rental car for 2 days, you get 2 days free. I was like, whoa. Wow. Yeah. And
that's double your trip.
I know, right? I mean, you book 5 days, for example, and then you get the weekend free. How cool is that? And then you get 7 days trip. We don't know for how long this program is going to be. We don't have any idea which hotels are participating, but there are 4 different locations in Cancun who's going to be part of this promotion. So yeah, if there's
Wow.
any interest of just travel, if you're thinking about it, yeah, reach out to me. I'd love to help you guys.
Beautiful.
Thank you so much.